Welcome to the Youth One Spotlight. I'm your host, Ryan Oliver, and today I am joined by a special athlete, 2025 athlete, Dominick Hernandez. Dominick, how are you?
I'm doing good. What about yourself?
I'm doing good. Dominick, let's start with this. This is my first time interviewing with you. Before every interview, I watch athletes' film. The thing that stands out to me on your film is your versatility. You're an athlete that can literally play defensive back, running back, receiver, kick return, punt return, probably even more than that. Uh, First of all, what is it about your game that allows you to play these multiple positions, and which is your favorite position and why?
I'd say the thing that makes me capable is training for all the multiple positions. Because when I first came in to training, I started as a running back, which I was okay at that. But once I started training for DB and receiver. So that opened me up to like a whole different like side of football. And then the kick return and the punt return, those kind of just came with being a receiver for obviously the catching, and then the open field. I'd say the thing that like puts me apart is like my open field awareness and like my ability to read the field.
Yeah, and I think that stands out, especially like on kick return and punt return, because I've seen your highlights, you can break free and score it kind of on any at any moment. And I think your ability to see the field, but kind of maybe before other people do, allows you to see those seams to get up the field. Um, which among the variety of positions you play is your favorite if you had to pick, and why?
That's a really hard question because I always running back for the longest time because Marshawn Lynch was like always my favorite player,
Uh-huh.
and then I got into receiver, and then I'd say receiver would probably be my favorite. Just I don't know, just yeah, I guess it'd just be my favorite.
Yeah, but I'm making you pick. I know that that you like to play a variety of positions because you just have the type of impact. So when you can play in a bunch of different spots, it's hard to just pick one. You mentioned the training that you put in. I was looking through your Twitter, and you had a post where you say like I'm putting in work when most people are playing video games, like most people your age, I'm assuming. Tell me a little bit about that work that you're putting in behind the scenes to have the results on the football field and ultimately get closer to the goals that you're trying to reach?
Um, so it's with my trainer, Will Johnson. I've been with him for a little over 2 years now. And we train, he has a little gym here in Reading. And we go there from 4:30 to 5:30. Sometimes we'll have field days from 2 to 4. And then we'll go to the gym at 4:30 to 5:30. But we usually do we'll usually just lift weights from 4:30 to 5:30, and then what we do in the gym kind of just depends on the day. Like some days we'll do like explosive, like speed workouts where we'll do like more explosive lifts, and then there's days where we'll do like bench press and like curls to actually like help with size. But the field days we'll usually start off with like some timing stuff. So like 40-yard dashes for the linemen, they'll do like their 10 yards. And then we'll get into one-on-ones, which I'd say are definitely my favorite part of the field days because I love the competition. But yeah, it's definitely not easy, but you gotta do what you gotta do if you want to get to the next level.
Yeah, absolutely. Speaking of competing, I like to ask young football players what their favorite part of playing football is. Would you say the competitiveness is among your favorite things? What is your favorite thing?
I definitely would say that competition is my favorite part about the game. It's I mean, it's a big part of the game. So yeah, I'd say competition is definitely my favorite part of it.
Yeah, yeah, compete like that. Just there's something about playing football that just gives you like a competitive. The juices just get going, and this an adrenaline rush like no other. I don't need to tell you that, but that was my favorite part back when I used to play too. So I get that. Dominick, you mentioned some of the like you have these goals, like a place you want to get to. If you could verbalize those goals, what are the goals that you have kind of in front of you that you are looking to obtain for yourself?
Um, I would say definitely getting ranked. Being ranked would definitely be one of my top goals. And then I would say obviously D1, but before that, starting on varsity my sophomore year. And then the ultimate goal would definitely be NFL.
Yeah. Those are some lofty goals, but I know that you're putting in the work to reach it. You're not just hoping on it. You're dedicated to it, and I think that's really awesome. I like to see when young athletes are dedicated at young ages to kind of a goal that seems like it's far away, but you're putting in the groundwork now, so you have a foundation to help you get where you want to go. Is there a college program that you look at and you say, you know, it would be really cool to play there, or to play for that coach or that type of thing? Is there anything like that in your mind?
I haven't dove too far into the programs yet, but
Okay.
University of Oregon has definitely been my favorite college for like the past 7 years now.
Okay, so at least something that could be on your radar, potentially. You got a couple of years, so you really need to be focused on that. I'll talk to some sixth grade athletes on here, and they'll say, "Yeah, I know where I want to go," and they got it all figured out. So I think that's cool sometimes when people, or the young athletes kind of have a place in mind where they're looking to at a young age. I think that's awesome. Dominick, for someone that hasn't seen you play, if they came to a game where Dominick Hernandez is playing football, what could they expect to see from you?
Uh, I would say a lot of yards, a lot of catches, and some touchdowns. But I'd say probably just me having fun. Like that's usually what it is. Like, because I'm competitive, but it's not like a mean type of competitive. I'm usually out there like smiling or like joking around. So definitely see me having fun out there.
Yeah, they're definitely going to see you go out there and compete and leave it all in the field. Like I can tell that's the type of athlete that you are, because anyone that spends their free time training and doing field work and those drills that aren't always the funnest part, the funnest thing to do in your free time, that's a dedication. So they'll definitely see that as well. Um, so what are some areas of your game that you look at and you say, okay, these are some areas I can get better to ultimately get ranked or ultimately take that next step in my game? What are some areas of your game that you've identified that you could work on to get better?
I would say definitely I've been working on jump balls like crazy, like the 50-50 balls. Those are definitely something I need to work on, especially with me not being the tallest person. Definitely working on those, and then being more versatile with my releases when I'm at receiver.
Yeah, absolutely. I think those are some good areas to work on. Correct me if I'm wrong. You are from California, correct? How would you say the competition is in California? Can you speak to that, like in your area?
Um, in my area, I wouldn't say the competition is anything too bad, but I'd say California definitely does have some stellar athletes. Just
Yeah.
definitely, at least on my team, there's some good athletes, but any other school, I don't think there's anybody quite as near my school.
Yeah. Shout out. Tell me who you play for and your team and that type of thing.
I play for Enterprise High School, and I'm on the varsity team now.
Okay.
And Chris Combs is my head coach, and I'd say definitely there's a couple athletes out here that definitely like deserve the recognition. Like Jahari Johnson had an outstanding year this year. Bryson Sessions, he was an absolute dog on defense, but ended up tearing his ACL before playoffs. I want to say it was the second round of playoffs. He tore his ACL in practice. And we have JJ Johnson, my quarterback. He's just like Lamar Jackson almost. He's crazy. And then I want to say Jalen Arney. He's like, me and him are like just about the exact same person. Like we're the same height. Like I'm not gonna lie, he's a really big human being. Like he's a thick kid and
Right.
that dog. But yeah, there's a lot of kids out here that definitely deserve some recognition.
Well, shout out to them. That's cool that you gave them a little shout out there. I think it's awesome when, it's like real recognize real, you're putting in work. These are guys that you recognize as well. Dominick, let's switch gears a little bit. Let me ask you about some things you like to do outside of football. Do you have any hobbies or things that you like to do when you're not training or not playing football?
Um, there's sometimes I'll play some games like every here and there. I'll hop on Madden, but even when I'm playing Madden, I take it like really personally because
Yeah.
like if somebody beats me in Madden, it's like I don't know, I take it way too personal. That and I'll kind of look at the I'll look at the stuff, even though it's not the most realistic thing. I'll look at the stuff that's in the game and I'll try and copy it into like my game in real life.
Yeah, well, hey, look, Madden, I used to be super competitive in that too. You know, I feel like that competitive nature trickles over to like even video games where you just don't want to take an L. So I totally get where you're coming from with that. I ask all athletes this to interview with me for the first time, and it's probably the toughest question I'm going to ask you. What is in your headphones before a big game to pump you up?
In my headphones. That's a really good question because usually I'm the one that's playing the music in the locker room and stuff like that. So they definitely like Lil Baby's in there. He's like you can't miss with that.
Absolutely.
I would say, man, I don't know. There's so much. Meek Mill, he's in there. Man, there's so many. There's a couple like I wouldn't say underground, but like really like underrated people in there. Like there's this one dude, his name is DB Bow the Bag. He's like my whole team is obsessed with that guy. Like every time he comes on in the locker room, the whole team is in there dancing. But yeah, I say like those three are probably like the top three people that get all of us turned up in the locker room.
I'm gonna have to check out the third guy. I always like a little recommendation of something. You know, I listen to what you listen to, I'm sure. So, you know, that's cool. Little shout out, Lil Baby, and Lil Baby's the most common answer I get. He got y'all generation on lock because that's what everyone says on here. Like, oh yeah, Lil Baby or NBA young boys. So, whatever they're doing the right thing. Well, Dominick, is there anything we should know about you that we may not know? Anything that's important about you that you would like people to know about you?
Man, I don't even know. I love my family, I guess. I don't know. Nothing to.
Yeah, shout out the Hernandez family. You know, it takes a lot of support, I'm sure, to, you know, help you play football and do the things that you do. And I know your dad, your family's probably, you know, making little sacrifices here and there so you can do what you do and all that type of thing. So shout out to the Hernandez family. I think that's a good way to end things here. Well, this is 2025 athlete Dominick Hernandez, a very versatile athlete, very talented, can play multiple positions: defensive back, kick return, punt return, running back, wide receiver, probably other positions too. Be sure to check out his profile on youth1.com. Check out his highlights and see what he can offer you. Dominick, thanks, man. Appreciate your time.
Thank you.